Well, hello everybody. Today I wanted to tell you that the president is, not just the president is out and about. And so I took a nap because I work 16 hours and I have to go back into work. But I wanted to let you know that today in Mexico it's Nurses Day. And so there is a video where he is giving out awards to the nurses. But first I'm going to try and see if I can find the excerpts from this morning's conference. And then I'm going to just briefly show you before I go to work how the president, after the morning conferences, he goes out and he goes to a few different regions. So like a tour of the country. So every day after the morning meetings on the weekdays, he does a conference. Before that, he has a meeting with the Safety Council, where they're talking about all the violence, and so he can keep track of what's going on in Mexico. After that, he goes to the morning conference and deals with the press, and they sometimes ask very harsh questions, but he just talks off the cuff. And when he doesn't have the information, he asks. They've got computers by there and his technicians, and they'll bring things up on the screen. They'll, or if they don't have the answers, he'll say, we'll get to it, and he'll assign somebody to it. I've never seen anything like this where a president is actually talking directly with the people, answering their questions, looking at what is really the needs of the people. And he has said it before, this is a true democracy. People try to say, oh, it's socialism, oh, it's communism, no. He takes it from the people. The people are the ones that are in charge. He is not a dictator, like some people also try to say. And it's absolutely the opposite. He takes a vote, sees what the people want, and then he does accordingly. And he's not quick. That is to say, he is quick to say, it is you guys that are in charge, and I just work here basically. So it's really a very interesting dynamic. I've never seen anything like it, and I wonder what kind of person will be able to follow him and keep up with that rhythm of working 7 days a week, 360 days a year. He did not take a day off. It was absolutely unbelievable. I could not keep up with the pace. In fact, I wound up having to take some time off. Not only was I injured and I worked a few double shifts and all that, but it got to be a bit much. And I'm, a few years younger than him. But anyway, he's got, even the press has said, sir, can you please slow it down a little bit? Because they're there at the meetings, and some of them, that is the conferences, and some of them even go with him or follow him to the next conferences that he has. They'll follow him from conference to conference on a daily basis. And there's been a few accidents while they were traveling, and they felt like they asked the president, hey, can you slow it down? And he basically told them, no, I've got to do everything in such a short time. I don't have time to take a break. I have to get it all done, because after this, I'm retiring. I am not going to be taking any other position. And, what he calls the conservatives, or his opposers, were saying, well, he's going to try and re-elect himself, because they're worried because the people really like him and would vote for him again if they could. But he said definitely not. So what he's doing is he's taking advantage of the time he does have, and he's working double shifts every day, so that is 16 hours a day. And after that, he also works on weekends and 16 hours a day. So if you take into account, let's see, he's doing it, so like the weekends are only 2 days, but it's like 4 days of 8 hours, so that's 32 hours on the weekend minimum. And we're talking about 5 times, oh my gosh, I should be able to do this math. But anyway, it's a lot. So 32 hours and 160, that's 192 hours a week. So, wow, that's a lot. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make a brief summary of the remainder of this conference, which I was not able to finish in the morning because I was afraid I was going to fall asleep. I was so tired. So I'm awake, getting ready to go to work, but I'll do as much as I can before I go. Fortunately, I don't live far. So here we go. Oh, okay. Well, I know it was right around here. Okay, that we had already done that. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if they didn't move the... Okay, so this is where we were. So this is one of the matters they're going to deal with.
Muy buenos días. De antemano, pues, muchas gracias por esta oportunidad. Gracias, señor presidente. Agradezco los medios de comunicación aquí presentes.
So you can see on the video display they have on the wall, you can see that it's called Programa de Mejoramiento Urbano. So that means they're going to be doing urban development. They've got a program. So I did hear him mention in another program some of the plans he's got to help the people that surround these beautiful tourist communities with these beautiful hotels and luxurious homes and all that, in the great stark contrast with their living conditions, which sometimes have no bathrooms, no water, no electricity. They live in shacks. And he says he's going to put an end to that contrast between the rich and the poor. So anyway, this is where this young man is going to explain it. So I'm going to let him explain it, and I hope it goes fast because I don't have a lot of time.
Presentes que nos acompaña. Es un honor para mí poder presentar los avances del programa de mejoramiento urbano el día de hoy. El programa de mejoramiento urbano constituye en 3 componentes. El primer componente es la parte de mejoramiento integral de barrios.
So this is, he says that this betterment plan or program is constitutes 3 parts. And the first one is to better the urban areas. Right now, he said.
De lo que hacemos es poder incidir en aquellas comunidades con mayor rezago en temas de equipamiento, servicios, espacios públicos.
So he says that they're going to be going first to the areas that have the worst conditions, that have very limited access to the basic necessities.
Entendiendo que en la conformación de las comunidades en el entorno urbano, estos espacios públicos, estos equipamientos son un elemento central para la conformación de la vida pública en las comunidades.
So they say that these areas that have a lot of tourism and public in the places, they're going to fix up those areas as well, because there's a lot of movement and they need to have the to encourage business to be able to have the basic necessities. I guess they mean like bathrooms, water, and all of those kind of things. And like if you go to a store, to be able to use a bathroom or something like that.
Asimismo, el segundo componente que nosotros tenemos a través del programa de mejoramiento urbano son las acciones de mejoramiento, ampliación y sustitución de viviendas dentro.
Oh, wow. So he says that they're also going to be bettering and substituting living conditions or homes for people.
De aquellas colonias con mayor rezago.
So these people that have the worst living conditions or like dilapidated homes, they're going to be fixing those up first.
Tenemos en este año alrededor de 18,387 acciones que se van a concluir.
So he's saying here, okay, so first it says they've got 348 works that they're going to be doing. And here it says, he says they've got 18,387 specific acts. So it says here, amplification and betterment of the situation of people, living conditions in the population that is in a vulnerable situation.
a través de la Comisión Nacional de Vivienda. Anteriormente, en la parte del componente del programa de mejoramiento de espacios públicos, tenemos en el orden de 348 obras o intervenciones puntuales.
So he said the part where it says 348, that's where they're fixing the public works. So let me translate that. It says rehabilitation and betterment of spaces, public spaces, and development of the equipment and substituting, repair, or implementation of infrastructural urban areas. Okay, so that's the 348.
Como último componente del propio programa, tenemos el trabajo del Instituto Nacional del Suelo Sustentable con alrededor de 7,000 acciones de regularización.
So this is sustainable program they have. He says they're going to be regulating the lots for the use of habitation, equipment, urban spaces and public spaces. So let's see, there's 6,797 acts that they're going to be doing, or actions they say.
De el suelo. Asimismo, buscamos que dentro de este programa, al término del sexenio, se puedan hacer las intervenciones en más de 100 ciudades a nivel nacional.
So they're going to be doing it in more than 100 cities on a national level.
En lo que corresponde a los criterios de selección, nosotros tomamos en consideración los rezagos en materia de servicios básicos, equipamiento, como se había mencionado, espacios públicos, y el objetivo es poder atender aquellas zonas que históricamente pues, han sido marginadas o rezagadas, donde de alguna forma el Estado mexicano ha sido ausente en muchas de estas colonias.
So he says that they're going to be also attending to the areas where the government apparently was absent and did not notice that in these little urban areas they had severe living conditions. And they're going to, it says here, objective to attend to the necessities of the people or population of the urban zones that have been historically excluded. And then here it says, well, he's probably going to explain the cities that present middle to higher grade urban margination, which means they're more forgotten, or in the outskirts. They basically just make it look good where the people go, the rich people go, but on the outskirts they do nothing for them, and it's terrible the conditions they're in. It says informal, some kind of informal work they're going to be doing for the homes in that area.
A partir del día de hoy estará disponible en la página mimexicolate.gov.
So he's saying that as of now, you can go to this site, https My Mexico Late, or late, but it's latte, which means beats, like heartbeat, Government of Mexico. And that is really, so basically they're saying Mexico has a heart. That's pretty darn cool. Anyway, so that's where you could go and see what the works they're doing and what the status is and all that, so that the people can be informed of how they're coming along, what have they gotten done, who's next, what are they doing next. That's very cool.
.mx toda la información del programa, como son los avances que se tienen en las diferentes ciudades que estamos concluyendo las intervenciones a través de este programa.
So he's saying they'll keep you up to date. You'll know what they plan and what interventions they are doing, and where they're at in it.
Posteriormente, haciendo un recuento del conjunto de intervenciones que se han tenido en el 2019, la concentración son en 16 ciudades, en forma especial 8 municipios en la región afectada por...
So he says that they're going to be, there's the 80 committees of the community, there's 11 states and 24 municipalities.
Por el huracán Huila en Nayarit.
Also, these were affected by Hurricane Huila, they said.
Tenemos 8 municipios, recordemos que...
And so he says there's 8 municipalities that were affected.
Esta afectación de inundaciones pues afectó un territorio
And they had flooding, and it affected a territory there.
bastante amplio, por lo
Quite a
cual nos
big
dimos
one.
a la vocación de poder incidir en cada uno de estos municipios. Tenemos una conformación de intervenciones muy puntuales en la parte norte del país, en lo que es Tijuana, Mexicali, San Luis del Colorado, Nogales, Ciudad Juárez, Acuña, Piedras Negras.
So wow, so there's a lot there. And I like how they put pictures and graphs for people to see what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to put it there so we can see these other parts.
A estos hoteles de gran lujo, pues viven en condiciones de grandes carencias.
So he's talking about, well, I'm going to go back a little bit because he says something about how these hotels that have luxury and that the people are in a very bad state surrounding those.
San Luis del Colorado, Nogales, Ciudad Juárez, Acuña, Piedras Negras, Nuevo Laredo, Reynosa y Matamoros, con la intención de poder conformar espacios públicos, equipamiento que dignifiquen, digamos, estas colonias con mayores carencias y poder homologar en la medida de lo posible, digamos, el modelo de desarrollo entre ambos países. Entonces nos concentramos en el 2019 puntualmente en cada una de estas ciudades y tenemos 4 ciudades turísticas que, como bien mencionaba el señor presidente, también lo que buscamos a través de estas intervenciones es disminuir las grandes disparidades entre aquellas regiones con hoteles de lujo.
So this is the important part. He says that as the president mentioned, we're trying to lessen the disparity between those hotels that are very luxurious and that the people, the neighbors, the surrounding areas to these people and hotels are living in conditions that are unbelievable.
Y así mismo, pues aquella población que atiende y da servicio a estos hoteles de gran lujo, pues viven en condiciones de grandes carencias.
So he also mentioned that the people that that do the work in those hotels live in these horrible conditions. So they go to these beautiful luxury hotels and take care of and assist and do the maintenance. And I guess, like maids and all that. And maybe even, the concierge and all these people, they go there to these hotels and attend to these people that are living their dream while they go home to these horrible conditions that are insufferable.
A un par de kilómetros de estos frentes de playa.
And so he says it's just a few kilometers from these frontal beaches.
Por último, también tenemos la intervención en lo que corresponde en Ayala y Morelia. Asimismo, tuvimos la participación de 80 comités comunitarios en cada una de en este conjunto de ciudades. Aquí, como podrán ver ustedes, se desglosa el tipo de obras realizadas. Esa es la cartera total.
So here he says these are some of the works that they're doing in the surrounding areas to better the area.
Tal de intervenciones que tenemos a lo largo de todas estas ciudades. Tenemos centros de desarrollo comunitarios, 18 proyectos en proceso de conclusión. Centros culturales y recreativos, 10.
So they've got also, so this is, let me read you what he's got. Community development centers, 18. These are things they're working on, okay? Cultural centers, recreation, 10. Bibliotecas, libraries, 3. It says sports camps or union sports or local sports areas, 20. Stadiums for baseball, 6. Schools, 9. Health centers, 7. Mercado, that's like shopping areas, 4. rehabilitations. So this probably the homes they're going to build there. Infrastructure, urban infrastructure, 144. That's the streets. Calles, the streets. Public spaces, 55. So if they have dilapidated buildings, they're going to fix those. Connectivity and mobility. So that means probably the roads. So check that out. 348 works in different areas. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over a little bit because basically he's probably going to talk about that. Okay, now what's this?
El conjunto de intervenciones, asimismo en una línea azul tenue, la rehabilitación y construcción de la avenida principal Lázaro Cárdenas.
So they're going to be fixing the main avenue, which is Lázaro Cárdenas, which means they're going to be doing road work.
La conectividad a lo que corresponde un corredor que conecta hacia la casa de Emiliano Zapata, la casa histórica. Tenemos 2 centros culturales, 2 unidades deportivas, 2 calles que conectan cada uno de los puntos de intervención, lo que corresponde a un mercado y 8 espacios públicos.
So basically, it's what that list was that we read. So 8 public spaces was the last thing he said.
En esta lámina podrán ver ustedes cada uno de los proyectos, el conjunto de metros cuadrados.
So here he says you can see each one of the works, how many meters, how many, like here it says 200 access roads, 26 miles. That's the road, Lázaro Cárdenas. Rehabilitation and betterment of the Zócalo. Oh, wow. So that's right there. There's 3 miles of that. The Zócalo is the center. It's like the big plaza that when the president has, when he does any of his public works or when displays, it's like a big public square. And they're going to be bettering that too. Rehabilitation of the streets, that's also in that area. Rehabilitation and expansion of the municipal adjunct areas. Oh, wow. So there's a lot. There's more. Look at. There's projects. Rehabilitation of sports. The Zócalo, where they explains. Oh, it's gonna where it meets with the city's head. They're gonna fix that area to make it safer. Because I was there in September, and all these roads go to the middle, and there's people walking there, and like it's a public square, and there's roads that go right to it. So it seems like it might not be very safe. So I think they're gonna work on that. Okay, integration of plazas and public monuments. Wow, there's a lot, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and give you the link to this video. Okay, I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to put it in my, in the, how should I say, in the comments later. So that you guys can go, but just go to the, in case you're lost, just go to the Mexican president's website. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab, and this is the president's website right here. Okay, so you would just go to Andrés Manuel López Obrador and look at his all the things that he has there. This is where, okay, there was just a few minutes ago, I know he was live somewhere, and I've already seen this one. It's really, really interesting. There's another one that he's with the nurses. They were having a live thing with the nurses. And you can see how he interacts with the people. Everywhere he goes, the people give him papers, he signs it. He's got, look at how many followers the president has. He's got 1,000,000.64 subscribers. He's almost to 2 million. And this is how he addresses the people. And because it's so important to him to get the word out, he's going to be putting internet in all of Mexico. I'm so impressed. I don't know. I keep telling you, this man is impressive. I don't know how anybody else is going to be able to keep up. Seriously, that's incredible. Okay, we're going back here.
Cuadrados intervenidos es un monto importante. La sumatoria total que tenemos de metros cuadrados reconstruidos en intervención en el municipio de Ayala es por arriba de los 70,000 metros cuadrados. Para dar un ejemplo.
So I'm going to go a little further ahead. Look at, he's giving some examples there.
Lázaro Cárdenas.
So there's the road.
Avenida, con el trabajo puntual de la Comisión Federal de Electricidad, se pudieron remeter todas las ducterías de electricidad, se bajaron más de 150 postes.
So he said that they took the old electric posts and they fixed quite a few, and they put these new ones. They removed the old ones and they fixed all the electricity in this area.
Asimismo, conexiones de Telmex también se fueron remetidas.
And they also repaired the telephone lines, and they put them, underground. I guess he said somehow they made it so that they're safe, because a lot of these places had electric poles and things that would fall over in the storms and such.
Finalidad de poder, digamos, mejorar la imagen de esta avenida principal, que es un punto de conexión fundamental dentro del propio municipio. Asimismo, pues se volvió a poner una carpeta de concreto, las guarniciones, las calles.
And so he said they also put down new concrete.
Todo lo que son la parte de los andadores públicos y las banquetas también.
And he said they're fixing or have fixed the public walkways or sidewalks.
Se rehabilitaron, se construyeron completamente nuevas.
Oh, and he said they reconstructed and made them completely new, so the sidewalks were completely redone.
En lo que corresponde en equipamientos, tenemos la rehabilitación y mejoramiento del mercado municipal.
Oh, wow, check this out. This is the municipal market that they've rehabilitated. It says rehabilitation and betterment of the municipal market, rehabilitation of the home Casa de Cultura, which is home of culture, rehabilitation of the sports of, I guess this looks like the sports stadium, rehabilitation of Lanza Charro. I don't know what that is. Lienzo de Charro. Okay.
Casa de Cultura. Tenemos también la rehabilitación por completo del Deportivo La Capilla, un espacio público de mucho uso deportivo.
Oh, check this out. They've got these, it's still open air, but it's got the shade for the people. Look at, you can see the shade on the bleachers. I bet you this is the sports arena. And you can see that they've done this structure where the people are not just going to sit in the sun all day, or get hit by the elements. You can see that this mirrors the shape of the substructure. Very interesting.
Vivo también en el propio municipio, algo que nos habían solicitado bastante la propia comunidad. Hasta la intervención se llevó a cabo. Esta es la imagen de la rehabilitación del lienzo charro en el municipio.
So this is lienzo charro. This is after they rehabilitated it. It looks very nice.
En lo que corresponde en la parte histórica, que como bien comentaba el presidente, es un día importante en materia agraria, también en conmemoración de importante hecho de haber concluido estas obras en el municipio de Ayala.
So this is in the municipality of Ayala. They rehabbed the museum Casa de Emiliano Zapata. So this is the home of Emiliano Zapata that they fixed, and they rehabilitated the space that had the rocks. You can see the rocks right around here, the rock pebble roads.
La rehabilitación de la Casa Museo Emiliano Zapata. En el fondo podrán ver la intervención de un espacio público y cultural en la inmediación de la casa de Emiliano Zapata.
So he says that right next to the home of Emiliano Zapata, there's also a cultural center which they rehabbed.
Un trabajo arduo e interesante con el INE que se llevó a cabo, lo que corresponde también el sendero seguro y la rehabilitación de lo que es conocido la piedra encimada en la parte de Chinameca, aquel punto histórico que previo a que el general Zapata bajara a Chinameca fuera asesinado. También se hizo una rehabilitación de todo este sendero.
So he said that they also repaired the area where Zapata, I think he said Zapata was murdered.
Largo del propio municipio. Por último, pues bueno, el programa de mejoramiento es un eje fundamental del trabajo del gobierno federal para...
Okay, you guys, I'm going to have to go because my time is up. Pico, stop! Because my time is up and my dogs are barking. Apparently somebody's arrived. I got to go. Sorry, guys. Bye.